didn't ruin his life. I let the truth do it. I never planned to take anything from him. I only wanted answers. The woman he left behind wasn't just a family friend. She was someone who trusted him with decades of her life. When he asked for a divorce, it came without warning. No conversations, no explanations, just distance followed by disappearance. After the split, everything fell apart. She struggled, she drank. People helped her put the pieces back together, but none of it made sense. And the more I listened, the more the story felt unfinished. He said he lost his job. He said he needed time. He said they had grown apart, but the details didn't line up. I didn't accuse him. I didn't confront him. I just paid attention. When I had access to what he left behind, I noticed patterns, new accounts, old lies, receipts that didn't match the version he told. The truth wasn't dramatic, it was methodical. Emails saved carelessly, passwords reused, paper trails he assumed no one would follow. What I found wasn't one mistake, it was a system, carefully arranged exits, hidden assets, overlapping relationships, a life quietly rewritten before the old one was finished. I didn't change anything. I didn't invent proof. I didn't exaggerate. I only sent information to the people who deserved to have it. Buyers learned what they weren't told. Inspectors saw what had been hidden. Employers discovered what conflicted with their expectations. One truth triggered another. Lawsuits followed. Projects stalled. Trust collapsed. His new marriage didn't survive scrutiny. His job didn't survive disclosure. His financial safety net didn't survive daylight. I never celebrated. I never took credit. I never told the woman he hurt what I had done. She needed peace, not more chaos. Some people think revenge looks like anger. It doesn't. Sometimes it looks like patience. Sometimes it looks like letting the truth arrive on its own schedule. I didn't ruin his life. I just stopped protecting the lies that held it together. Some people fall because they are not pushed, but because the lies are no longer held up. The next story is about someone else who lost protection. He ruined me to save himself. I thought losing my job was the worst thing that could happen to me. I was wrong. I was new, still learning the systems, still proving myself. Our department was small, too small for mistakes to hide. My supervisor knew his position was unstable. Performance reviews weren't kind. Questions were being asked, and he needed someone else to fall first. I was convenient. I was fired quietly. No warning, no explanation that made sense, just a sentence that closed the door behind me. I was angry, but anger fades. Confusion lingers. Time passed, and clarity followed. People talk when they feel safe. Patterns appear when you stop looking away. What I learned wasn't about work, it was about character. He lived two lives. One he defended loudly, one he hid carelessly. I didn't confront him. I didn't threaten him. I didn't raise my voice. I wrote a message to the only person who deserved to know the truth. I didn't exaggerate. I didn't accuse. I explained, carefully, calmly, with facts. I made it clear that disbelief was understandable, but ignoring health wasn't worth the risk. I never heard back. Months later, I learned I wasn't the only one who had been removed to buy time. It hadn't saved him. Years later, I heard what remained: a broken marriage, children who moved away, a career that stalled, a life reduced to survival. I didn't celebrate. I didn't brag. I didn't feel proud. I felt finished. Some people think revenge requires action. Sometimes it only requires truth reaching the right person. He chose himself over integrity. I chose honesty over silence, and everything else happened on its own. I thought this was the end. It wasn't. The next story shows what happens when silence finally breaks. I didn't ruin his career. I told the truth. I didn't think a short relationship could follow me for this long. We dated briefly, long enough to learn who he was, not long enough to forget it easily. The night I needed him, he chose something else. I learned how quickly priorities become excuses when inconvenience enters the room. I didn't make it public. I didn't demand apologies. I didn't tell my family. I was asked not to, so I stayed quiet and moved on. Months later, my life looked different. New work, new direction. Someone new who showed up without being asked. I didn't plan for worlds to overlap. I didn't expect names to resurface in professional spaces. I didn't connect the dots until they were already touching. When the truth came out, it came out once. Not exaggerated, not weaponized, just stated. I didn't ask anyone to take sides. I didn't make demands. I didn't suggest consequences. Someone else made a choice based on what they learned. They decided who they trusted. They decided who represented them. That decision wasn't mine. But the fallout found me anyway. I was told I had ruined something, a deal, a reputation, a future that depended on silence. I was told I should have protected him. I was told I owed restraint to people who weren't there when it mattered. But the truth is simple. I didn't destroy anything. I didn't interfere. I didn't manipulate outcomes. I stopped lying by omission. Careers don't collapse because of honesty. They collapse when honesty conflicts with who someone pretended to be. If the truth was enough to end it, then it was never stable to begin with.